Europa ha cambiado mucho en las últimas décadas. Hoy es un espacio atravesado por la migración, por la mezcla de culturas y por historias que no siempre se cuentan desde dentro. Y este vídeo parte de una pregunta muy simple, pero que abre muchas capas. ¿Cuándo te hicieron saber que eras árabe? Antes de empezar la conversación, quiero presentaros brevemente a las 3 personas que forman parte de este podcast. Lina nació y creció en Bruselas, en una familia de origen marroquí. Hassna nació en Bélgica y creció primero en Bruselas y luego se mudó al campo, y su familia es de Camerún. Y Tania nació y creció en Dinamarca en una familia de origen iraquí. Las 3 han vivido entre distintos contextos culturales con todo lo que eso implica, en el día a día, en la escuela, en la forma de relacionarse y también en cómo te ven los demás. Hoy trabajan en comunicación y redes sociales y actualmente viven en Sevilla. Son 3 historias distintas, con trayectorias familiares diferentes, pero con algo en común. Todas han crecido dentro de Europa, en contextos europeos, y aún así en distintos momentos de su vida han sido leídas desde la idea de ser de fuera. Y esto no es casual. Según datos de Eurostat y la Comisión Europea, alrededor del 10% de la población residente en la Unión Europea no tiene la nacionalidad del país en el que vive. En muchos contextos urbanos, y especialmente entre generaciones jóvenes, la diversidad de origen ya forma parte de la vida cotidiana. Europa, en su forma actual, también es el resultado de procesos migratorios relacionados con historias laborales, educativas, políticas y bélicas, pero también con procesos de descolonización que han marcado el movimiento de personas entre continentes durante décadas. No se trata de ver esto como algo excepcional o externo, sino como parte de cómo funciona la sociedad europea hoy. Y aquí es donde entra algo que me interesa especialmente. Autores como Henry Tafel y John Turner explican cómo organizamos la realidad social a través de categorías muy simples, que separan entre el nosotros y el ellos. Erving Hoffman, por su parte, ayuda a entender algo mucho más cotidiano, que muchas veces no somos solamente lo que decimos que somos, sino también lo que los demás interpretan de nosotros en la interacción. Edward Said mostró cómo determinadas representaciones culturales han construido históricamente la imagen del otro dentro del imaginario occidental, especialmente en relación con el mundo árabe y musulmán. Y eso, llevado a la vida real, es exactamente lo que vamos a escuchar hoy. Historias personales, historias concretas de cómo se vive todo esto en el día a día. Y ahora sí, ¿cuándo te hicieron saber que eras árabe? One day we had a conversation, this is pretty common on us, we have this kind of conversations, and Lina said, just launched it, when did they make you realize that you were Arab? And she was not talking about skin color, she was not talking about ideology, religion, she was talking about when was the first time that you were aware that people perceive you differently than the others. So I think we're going to start with this question. When did they make you realize that you were Arab, that you were different?
You want me to start with the
You can
funny
start.
story that started this whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, basically, I think when I grew up, I knew that like my family was Moroccan, that at home we spoke Arabic and French. Every weekend you go to your grandmother's house, you eat couscous, but when you're a kid you don't really feel like it. You think everyone does that. And it's normal, you're not like, oh, I'm different, or I come from another country. And I think the day I kind of realized not everyone is Moroccan was 9/11. And I think for a lot of people that are Muslim or Muslim looking, brown, it was a big moment. Basically what happened is like I was I think 3 or 4 years old, so I was a baby, I was in kindergarten. And so 9/11 happened and it was on the news, all over the news for the week. And my parents, they did not want me to look at the news because they were scared that I was going to be so scared because they were scared too. So every time they were watching the news, they were like, no, you cannot watch TV, go to your room. And I was playing. And one day I sneaked out and I was like, hey, looking at the TV. And I saw it and I thought they were watching a movie. Like, I didn't know it was real life. I just heard some words. And then the next day I go to school and we're doing Lego. We played the Legos. And we all had to do a project. And a lot of kids, they were doing like a movie that they watched. So they were doing, I don't know, Harry Potter or whatever, Disney princess. And I decided to do 9/11. For some reason, I thought it was a movie. So I did the Twin Towers. I go in front of the class. I'm the only Moroccan. And when I was a kid, I had really curly hair, super short curly hair, big brown eyes. I go in front of the class and I'm like, Osama bin Laden or something like this.
No way.
I say the craziest thing a kid could say, and the teacher, she was shocked. So shocked, which is normal. Like, So she puts me aside, she talks to me, and she's trying to understand. And I don't really remember because I was 4 years old. It's mostly my parents who told me the story. But I think she was just like, you cannot do that, you know, it's real life, it's not a movie, blah, blah, blah. But what happened next is when I realized something was happening is because they, of course, told my parents. But it was not just a conversation about like, hey, be careful with what you're showing your kid, or maybe you should explain some things to her, she thinks it's a movie, blah, blah, blah. It was like, are you Muslim? Do you pray at home? Do you pray in front of her? Do you let her eat pork or she cannot? Like very intimate question about how we were living in the house. And after that, like every time we were like eating lunch at school, like before that, when my parents said like our kid doesn't eat pork. The rest she can eat, but pork she doesn't eat, and it was never a problem. Like I just didn't have pork in my plate. But after that, I felt like all the teachers were like, "Did your parents force you not to eat it? You know, if you want to try it, you can." Like,
wow,
we're not gonna say anything.
That's wild to say.
So your parents as well changed the behavior after that?
My parents, not so much. I think they kind of felt like when my mom tells the story, she doesn't really feel like it was racist or anything that they asked her so many questions, which I think, no, it was a bit too intimate. But she was like, but it's normal, it was a terrorist attack and people were scared and you were doing this in front of the class. I was like, yeah, but if it was another kid from the class that was white, like Belgian, I don't think it would have had so many consequences. I think they would have understand that immediately she doesn't know what she's saying. But for me, it was they had to dig into my family to make sure I was not related to someone in Afghanistan. Like, that made no sense. And I think that's the day I realized, oh, my family is not from Belgium and they're different. And that was the story that started the conversation.
Yeah. What about you girls?
I have two instances. It's like one happened when like I was in school, I was 6 years old, and the other one was when we moved to the countryside because I grew up in Brussels until I was 10. So Brussels is very, very multicultural, so it wasn't a problem. But when I moved to the countryside, some things changed. But I would say that the first instance, I was 6 years old. I just came back from a trip to Cameroon for the whole summer. And when I was a child, I used to speak Fulfulde, so my mother's language, completely fluently. So we were mixing both at home without any problem. And after the summer holiday, I spent 2 months there. After the summer holiday, I decided to go back. No, it was not my choice. I went back to school. I had to. So I went back to school, and then I'm talking and I'm playing with my friends, and we're just like running around. And I'm talking to them in French, but I'm also mixing it with Fulfulde. And the reaction I got from there was like so like, why is she speaking this extraterrestrial language? Like they made me feel so different, like, oh, like we don't know it. Because some people were from, like I said, I was in Brussels, so they spoke Italian, they spoke Spanish, they spoke like other languages that were like, when people were hearing it, it wasn't weird. But because I was speaking a language that was from Africa, people were just looking at me like, and like it made me really feel like after this, like I completely shut down. I came home. I was like, Mom, I'm never speaking your language ever again. And then it took me years to go back to it because I just got traumatized by children. But it's like really about just the fact that I was really into like share. Like for me, it was normal. Like you say, like when you're a child. And you do know that you have a different, like you do know that you have a culture, but you don't necessarily know that it's different from.
Did you realize at that moment that was because of that?
No.
Or you just stop it because you don't want kids to make fun of
Exactly.
you, but you were not, were you realizing?
For me, it was, for me, it was just because they were mean kids. I just thought that it was just a mean thing that children were doing, and they were making fun of me because I spoke another language. I didn't feel really different. That's why I said that there's like two instances. This is the first memory where I know that it's because I was different that they reacted this way, and then they kind of like put it back in my face. But the time where I really realized it, I was 10 years old. Like I said, we had moved to the countryside, and we like, you know, back in the day how we used to play in the neighborhoods with the other kids and stuff. So we're like 3 new girls in the neighborhood. And every time my sisters and I were gonna arrive, okay, so I'm gonna use a very specific term that only you will understand, but I will tell you what it means. But every time we were arriving, they were calling us danette au chocolat. It means it's
Yeah.
a chocolate pudding.
Danette
Like, you know,
of-
danette is the...
Danette de chocolate.
But it was always danette de chocolate, like always.
really?
Oh, there's the danette au chocolat are coming, like, and it was like, but we could not, like, it was not said to our faces. It was like something that we were hearing
Yes.
from afar.
Whoa.
Like, and I was 10, so like when you're 10, there are some things that you can already understand.
Yeah, yes.
So I'm like, why is this thing happening? My sister, who was younger, we went home, then we told our parents that this was happening, and then my mom like really took it seriously, and then she had to talk with the parents of the neighborhood. But that's really the first time that somebody was just like, hey, in case you didn't know, I see that you're black. Like, literally. Because they literally...
Wow.
Surprise, surprise!
They found the only thing that was the same color as me, and then it became my nickname. Like, I had a name, I was like, no.
It's a little bit of a blur, but I do remember getting all the questions like, are you Muslim? Do you eat pork? Why are you not wearing the hijab? Like, I have these questions since I remember it like since first grade, so 6 years old. And
So
for me,
children were asking you this?
also adults, like everyone. Yeah. And I don't know, it was normal. I was not thinking that it was weird. It was just part of.
Is it
daily
because
life.
in Denmark there's not that many, like, multiculturality? Is there?
Yeah.
Would you
I
say
mean,
that there is?
Not as much as where you are from. Like, for sure, it's more white. So, yeah. Sorry, it's like I have to,
No, don't worry. We have no rush.
because now as an adult, it's
Yes.
You understand more things now. Absolutely. Like, now all the pieces are being put together, and you're like, oh wow, that was wild.
All the microaggression that you get as a kid, you think they are compliments. They're like, but you speak French so well, but you're so
Exactly.
pretty, but your family doesn't wear the hijab. And you're like, yeah, we're so different, we're so white. Like, you think it's a compliment, and then you realize,
No,
It's not.
It's constantly appointed that you
Yeah.
are not from here, that you are not
Yeah.
part of this.
but you're behaving well, because you're behaving like the
of course, there's
white.
nothing wrong in you.
Yeah, you have the social codes, you don't wear the hijab, you go out,
You went to school.
you don't
you're
bother
educated.
them, you don't make them feel
But even though
uncomfortable.
if you choose to wear the hijab, even though if
Yeah.
it was nothing
Exactly.
wrong as well.
Yeah.
no, but people treat you also
Completely different.
different because I was blending in.
Yes.
Which I was, because my family is very secular, which something people don't understand. They think that because I am like this, it's because I rebel against my family, but I said, my family is like this, you know, like they believe in God, but they don't practice religion. So for me, religion was never something I am close to. But people always ask me the same questions: if I'm Muslim, if I believe in God, and if I eat pork. And I say yes, and people ask, what do your parents say about that? But I say, my parents, they taught me this. Like, this is the family that I grew up in. My family left for political reasons. Their identity is not religion, so I didn't grow up with religion as something you use as arguments or something you live after. So I remember I went home to my mom, and I asked her, why is everyone asking me if I eat pork, and they only ask me specifically. I didn't understand it, and she was like, yeah, it's because if you are Muslim, normally you don't eat pork, but you eat it and it's okay. And if they ask you, it's okay, you can eat it. Like, you don't have to justify or anything. Then I continue to not understand this.
Dynamic.
So at what
Wait.
age do you think that you realize all of this? That your mind was growing up, so you were understanding that maybe these things that were happening to you through your whole life was not normal. It was happening to you and not from...
Yeah. I think it was super progressive. during life. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people make jokes and you're like, why does it make me feel bad? And everyone is laughing. Am I being oversensitive? Am I being like, I'm just maybe not fun? Maybe that I don't find the jokes funny. But you go home and you're like, it kind of hurts. Like, why am I feeling like this?
For me, it was like not just the microaggression in the daily life, but it was in the media, it was something political, it was something international, you know, and you felt that you have responsibility or that you have to excuse what's happening in the world,
Wow.
which is something big.
I feel like you have the whole community on your back. That like,
Yeah.
if you do something bad, then Muslims are aggressive. Arabs are aggressive.
Yeah.
And you have to apologize for all of
Yeah.
them.
It's like, if a Belgian guy robs a bank, the media will say, Robert robbed the bank. And it stops at that man robbed the bank. But if I do it, it's going to be Lina, the Moroccan Muslim girl, robbed the bank. Muslim aggressive. Should we do more policies against migrants? Like, it's like you cannot make any mistake and you cannot have emotions, because if I go to work and I'm upset about something, I'm aggressive. But if Karen is upset about something, she's having a bad day. It happens.
Yeah.
You always have to justify yourself, excuse yourself, be very like, no emotions, temper yourself, be normal, be quiet, don't bother people, don't make them feel uncomfortable because...
Would you think that people firstly point you as Moroccan than as a Belgian, even though you present yourself as Belgian?
I think it depends which people. Like, around my friends, I don't feel like that at all, but in the work environment, that's where you feel so Arab. Even though I'm not even Arab, I'm Moroccan. Like, the microaggressions at work are the worst. It's like you go on holiday, you come back, how was your trip to Syria? I was in Spain.
What the fuck, bro?
And they're like, yeah, you didn't do the jihad. No.
That's wild.
Like, I was working in a clothes shop, and at the end of the day, they count the money every night. And it's a big store, like type of Primark and stuff. So every day there's like 10 euro less or 5 euro more. It's normal because you take 500 clothes a day. It was 20 euro missing in my thing. And it happens every day for everyone. The day it happens to me, he's like, I'm going to con it again and again and again. He's like, there's 20 euro missing, Lina. I was like, what can I do? Like, maybe I didn't scan something. And he's like, no, because I know you're kind. Why would I steal 20 euros? So yeah. And then I think when you grow up, you're like, when you're a kid, you're just like, oh no, I swear I didn't steal anything, and you don't say anything. But then you grow up and like, that was racism.
But like, even if we're adults now, I don't think we still realize it when it's happening.
No.
Like, you asked, like, when we really realized that this was happening to us. Things are still happening to me today. It will happen in this situation. And then it's after the facts that I think about it and I'm like, hey, wait, that wasn't right. Like, that was not right. So I think that, like, even as an adult now, there are still some things that I cannot comprehend. Because there's also some things that are happening and then you're thinking about it. You're like, oh, did this person say this because they were thinking that? Or did they say it because it was a little bit racist? Like, you're always questioning yourself all the time. But I don't think there's ever a moment where I was like, I understood everything, like a light bulb went out. No, because right now there are even still things that are happening to me that I don't view it as microaggression. It's after the fact when I talk to someone about it, I'm like, ew, that was weird.
That was wild, yeah. And after the very first time that you were realizing that you were perceived different, did your background mean differently for you than before?
Yeah. I was growing up, for me, saying that I was Belgian was really important. Like, I needed to put the emphasis on the fact I'm born and raised in Belgium. I speak French, Dutch, English. Like, I was also growing up after this, I did not speak Fulfulde anymore. So, like, I kind of forgot it. My mom was speaking to me and then I was answering in French. So, like, I was trying the food also at one point. Like, the food I'm trying to distantiate myself from. So it was like always so important to me to do everything exactly the same way as my peers who were born and raised Belgians, but also looked white. Because then they were not having the same experience as me. So I was like, okay, I need to have like as much of their experience possible. So like I'm kind of erasing my culture, which is impossible. Like,
It's crazy.
because whatever I'm doing, my color is always with me. It will not change. I cannot change it. And so I know that growing up, it did have a big impact on me, because I was trying to just not be from Cameroon, which is completely crazy now that I think about it, because I'm an adult. But when I was a child, I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna give them a reason, so I'm gonna act white, if that means something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna act exactly as they would, so that means not like speaking the exact same languages, doing the exact same things. Like, I was going to the beach and tanning. That makes no sense for me to do this. But growing up, I'm 12 years old. Everyone is like, oh, let's go to the beach. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go with you. And then I'm also putting oil on myself. And then why? Why am I doing this? Just because I want to be included and I don't want people to make me feel different. So I'm doing the exact same thing as you, but that's not how it works. So yeah, it did change it for me, obviously.
And what about you, girls?
Yeah, for me, subconsciously, yes. I think as a human, you always try to blend in and you try to survive, you try to fit in, because you know that if you act in a certain way, you will be judged. And you see it with your own eyes, like you see people with Arab names, or people who don't drink alcohol, or people who wear the hijab, or people who don't party or live a Western life. You know that they're gonna be excluded. So subconsciously you do everything to fit in and be part of society, be part of the group. So yeah, I think I did maybe kind of the same things, that I try so much to blend in that it cost me to really connect with my roots. For me, it was easier because I couldn't go to Iraq, so I was already like mentally, it was something abstract. Like being an Arab or being an Iraqi was something abstract concept for me, because I know the culture through my parents, but I don't know through myself. So I'm just mimicking what I see and what I know I have to do to fit in, which I don't regret it, but I know that it's something, depending on where you are, you just try to fit in. And now I am really happy and proud that I have this background. So I don't know, at some point you start to meet people that are different outside of the bubble, and you start to see that it's really cool to be who you are and where you are from, and have these
And be different from the other.
Yeah, but for sure, as a kid, I just try to blend in, but in the moment I didn't understand the consequences of it. So yeah, but definitely.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
No, I had similar experiences to you guys. Like, I think I quickly, subconsciously understood that the less Arab I acted, the more I would get opportunities, friends, a job.
But what was acting Arab for you when you were young?
Just showing that I had a religion, or talking about my culture, talking about my family was just something I was never talking about. And during the whole year, you can hide pretty easily where you're from if you're really white passing like I am. I don't wear the hijab, I'm pretty pale, like I can pass as an Italian or Spanish. And when I was a kid and people told me, oh, you don't look so Moroccan, I took it like as the biggest compliment ever. I was like, Andalusia, you know, I was so close to Morocco, so maybe I'm Andalusian at the end. And like, I think deep down I was dreaming to do a DNA test, and the DNA test was telling me, you're Spanish, congrats, you're not Arab. Like, I think I tried to act super white, listen to white music, going to the white parties, doing everything that deep down I knew I didn't even like, to fit in. And yeah, so similar experiences. Hide it the most you can. Yeah. And when people were making jokes about Muslims, I was joking with them. And like, ugh.
But I think it's not only something that I did to myself, it's also something that my parents did to me.
Yeah.
Like
kind
the
of
way
in a protection way?
Like the way they were taught when they immigrated, was that they have to blend in. So it's like you have to forget a little bit about your food. Like today, I feel like we can see a lot of people immigrating and then blending the cultures. I feel like 30 years ago,
Yeah.
you kind of had to forget your own culture to be integrated in a new one. That meant that yes, you have to learn the language of where you are, but yours, you cannot speak it anymore. So like even my parents, they adopted some things. Like for them, the fact that my sisters and I, we started losing full day very, how do you say, petit à petit? So we're progressively, like we were progressively losing the language. Nothing went into their mind being like, oh, like I still want my child. They were like, no, it's gonna be better for them in school if they have only that. We're gonna put them in Dutch class. That's so much better. And it's like all of those things. Even the way my mom cooked changed. Like now it's what it used to be when I was a child, but like growing up, her cooking was different also.
So for your parents as well, when they start having kids, after having the experience of have to immigrate to another country, do you think they raised you with the awareness of the world you're living in?
Yes.
Yeah, so much. Like my parents gave us really international names.
I was about to say the same story. Yeah.
Same.
On purpose.
On
yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
Like they say, we named you Lina, and my brother's name is Adam, because it's the most international names ever. Like we don't want to lose our culture fully, so we're gonna put something that has a little bit of Arabic sound, but you can be named Adam literally in every corner of the world, and same for Lina. And when I asked them why, they was like, so you can get a job.
I think my parents were clueless. My parents were freaking clueless on so many topics, on so many things. They named us, like, and I love our names. My sister has a very complicated name. I will not say it here, but like she has a very complicated name. And every time, like her whole life, she has struggled for 27 years of her life. Every time she says her name, people have a very weird reaction and they can never remember her name. So these were not even things that my parents were thinking about. Like I don't think they realized their color and the way people perceived them, because my parents are like very private people. They keep to themselves. So like even if they see a microaggression, they will not understand that it was made to them for that reason. I don't think they are educated enough on the matter to be able to understand it. I think that those are things that you understand when you read a lot on the topic, you talk to some people on the topic, and because they always stayed in their bubble, they went to school, they did their job, and like they're very like this. It's not things that for them, it's growing up with 3 girls in Belgium that made them understand certain topics. But I remember that my dad got, like, when I was a child, he got what is it called? Assaulted by the police. Police brutality was a big thing in Brussels, like in Belgium in general, and it still is. So my dad got assaulted when I was a child. I was about like 6 or 7 years old. And so that was the last time somebody like gave him his color back to his face, like slash his, like put his color that, oh bro, you're black and this is why this happened to you. And then the next time this happened was 2020 when George Floyd died. My dad did not realize, was it 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, George Floyd was 2020, right?
Yeah.
My dad did not realize that for those past 25 years, things were still happening, because he was just in his bubble. And then he's like, the fact that I saw a man that looks like me, like getting killed like that, blah, blah, like this is also another thing, because like it's obviously police brutality and being black in the world today. But like, so it's to tell you how much my parents, I don't think they see, like they are not completely fully aware. And I think because of that, there are many things that they didn't prepare us properly for. In a way, protected us.
Will you?
I can try to find an example. I like right now. I know that there were instances in our lives where we came back from when my sister would come back from like a job interview or something, and then we're discussing it, and she's saying some of the questions that the interviewer asked her, And my older sister and I were like kind of shocked, like that's a weird question to ask. Like what were they meaning, blah blah. And then my parents were always trying to justify it. Like every time something happens or something was happening on the news.
Do you think he didn't want it too much?
I think
that you were
just did not understand
living racism?
No, I just think that he was not grasping that it is what it was. Like when they hear someone on the news that attacked someone and that they, for once, say that it was somebody that is from this ethnic or this background or blah blah, and then one of us will make a comment, were they forced to? Did they really have to say it? Like, come on, like it was not necessary in this context. It was not necessary to say it. They would be like, yeah, but no, but like they like always trying to justify it. Like, and I think that's also because just they're not aware.
And nowadays, do you think that the way that people see you match by the way you see yourself? Like when you meet new people and you're receiving, you're interacting, you're talking, the way you feel that they look at you match the way you look at yourself?
No.
Maybe it's a pretty complex question.
It is a complex. It is very complex.
It depends.
It depends on the. Yeah, it really depends on the context.
Where you are.
I would say most of the time, yes. Because we are in very multicultural spheres right now.
Yeah.
And
So-
we're a different generation.
Like me meeting new people now, it just means I'm meeting international people, probably people who are educated and people who traveled.
I think for the Arab/Moroccan part, yes, it matches, but for the Muslim part, it doesn't. Like people cannot comprehend that people can have nuances. It's either you're super Muslim and you're almost a terrorist and you're super extremist and you want your Sharia law everywhere, or you're fully atheist and you're a rebel. Like you go against your family. And that in between that most of us are doesn't exist in people's minds. So when they meet you, if they realize, or if I say that I'm Muslim, they cannot comprehend. It doesn't match their idea what a Muslim person looks like and how they should behave. So they keep asking the same questions all the time. And long term, like I had friends in the past that we know each other for 10 years and they were still asking me the same dumb questions and making like super Islamophobic comments on girls wearing hijab mostly. And when I said like, it makes me feel uncomfortable, it was like, but you're not like them. It's like, yeah.
You're not like them.
I'm completely like them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because you see my hair that I'm not like them.
How disrespectful is to say like them?
Yeah, like it's a bubble of devil people. Like they are not even people to their eyes. They're it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's not even a he, she. It's a it. That thing is dangerous. That thing is evil.
So it is much with the following question, like there are certain jokes, labels that you've been received for your whole life that are painful.
You're pretty for a black girl.
Yeah.
Growing up all the time. I have heard this sentence 100 times. You're so pretty for a black girl.
It's crazy.
You're so pretty for
We
a
were
black girl.
together
That's wild.
recently that you received a comment in Utopia.
That happens to me all the time. Less now that I'm an adult. Growing up, I cannot even count the amount of times. This sentence traumatized me for some reason, because then in my mind, black people were ugly. What does that mean, that I'm pretty for a black girl? That means that all black people are, and then I'm just lucky. That I got lucky. And then also, then you're asking people, why do you think I'm pretty? It's because I have very fine traits. Like, you know how, like, usually in Africa, like, the traits are, like, they have, like, wider mouth, like, their nose, and those characteristics for them are not considered pretty. So because I have, like, slimmer features, on my face, but I am black, you're pretty, but for a black girl. It was never, you're pretty. If you tell me that I'm pretty, thank you, I accept the compliment very... You're pretty for a black girl is loaded with so many prejudice, like so much. For me, that was always this.
And have you ever known one of you that people acted different when they noticed about your background or where they meet you in person?
Yes, I know that I'm treated different because I'm white passing, you know, or because my lifestyle and my mentality or whatever they perceive, they think that I blend so much in that
at the first sight they don't realize that your background is different.
Nobody can guess that I'm Arab. And it's not people's fault, but they're not aware that people look diverse.
Yes.
In all the countries, there is a lot of Arabs that looks like me. There is a lot of Arabs that are secular like me, that grew up in families with not a strong religion. And when I say that I'm not Muslim, people like, whoa.
How? Since you
they can't believe it. So for me, I know it now, but maybe when I was younger, I think I didn't realize that because I blend so much in, for sure, I get treated better. Because I also know people that are very open, honest about their religion and where they're from, and you can see where that they are different and they get treated differently. Their life is different, their opportunities are different. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna answer no to this question first, because when people meet me, they see me directly.
Yes.
So it's like I don't have this problem. I don't pass for anything other than black. So like when they see me, but it's more about, okay, so I was looking for an apartment like in 2020 with my best friend. She's the one who made all the reservation talking with the people. And she's Belgian. She has a very Belgian name. So then when I showed up, they look at me and they're like, it's for you. But they had already received our full, like when you apply for an apartment, you need to put like all the information, like if you have student jobs. At the time I was working and I was also getting my parents as, what are they called? Garant.
Yeah.
Like security, like my parents were kind of security. And to prove this, I attached some of their paychecks. My dad is a dentist. He earns money. So she looks at me and she's like, there's no way this is you.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I'm like, well, was this file sent by this person? So I'm giving my best friend's name. She's like, yeah, but like, you're sure it's you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, but it's fine. And I just got the situation. Because like when she saw me, because I talked to her on the phone, like you talk with my friend, here is her name. I will be there for the apartment viewing because she's working right now. She cannot be there. And I showed up and the first thing she said is, it's you? Yeah, it is me. Because the way I speak, like, what do you want me to take? Like a weird accent? I do not have an accent when I speak French. I was born and raised in Belgium. I speak French like a Belgian person.
You have a Belgian accent.
I have a Belgian accent actually when I speak. So they cannot, when they hear my voice on the phone, they will never guess that I'm black. So I arrived and then just the way she was vibing with me, I'm very aware of how people react to me. I never think, oh, they're gonna react bad every time I go into a situation. But if you react in a weird way, I will notice. So I just decided to cut this short because I'm like oh, it's you. And then the questions about the file and being like super, like asking again and again. And she's like, yeah, but you send like salary things but you sure it's you?
Like
yes.
justifying.
Like justifying, because it's impossible that I have no accent, that it's me, that I have student jobs, and that my dad earns this much. Because you're black, it's not possible. I mean, she didn't say it like that, but
yeah.
I knew that what she meant. So I was just like, okay, you know what? You have other viewings. I would rather struggle than bowing down to something like this and just like having to kiss your feet just to have this apartment. So you know what, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation. And then after 10 minutes, I just left. But yeah, that was, because when they meet me in person, it's not gonna happen. That's also a reason why I always put, when I was looking for jobs, I always put my picture in a CV. I know it's very controversial. People are always like, oh, do you put your picture or do you not put it? Because you want to have the best opportunity and that your physical attributes, like the way you look, because I mean, some people are considered prettier, and things like that. Like, so they want to remove this factor, and they're like, I just want my qualifications to be the only reason they want to be interested in me. I have the exact opposite in my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna put my pictures, so when I apply, they already know that I'm black, and it's not a surprise when I get into the meeting, because they just saw my qualifications, and then they're like, wait, what? It was you? Yeah. Like, growing up, I was always putting my picture just for that.
And for you girls, like on the same line, do you feel that you have ever have to keep explaining yourself more than the others? Like justifying constantly?
Constantly, yeah. Like, I feel like when you are very white passing, like Tanya was saying, and you blend in, it's during the year it's kind of easier, where it was always tricky for me, especially in the workspace, was during Ramadan, because during a month I cannot hide that I'm Muslim. I'm not eating at lunch and people see it, and that's when you're like, okay, you were not my friend this whole year. They're just giving you the craziest comment and the craziest question, and you have to justify everything, like, and they make you feel like you're the dumbest person on earth, that you go back home and you're like, maybe I'm dumb. Religion is for dumb people, like maybe I'm so stupid and my culture is so shit, like, so yeah, you have to justify and always excuse yourself, like, no, but my family is very woke, they're very liberal, like, like when I was a kid, always when people say, oh, you're Muslim, your parents are Muslim, I was always saying, yes, but my mom, she doesn't wear the hijab, like, I was so proud of it, but why am I proud of that? Like, she doesn't wear it because she doesn't want to, and who cares? Like, if tomorrow she wears it,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing will change, like. So yeah, for the Muslim part, 100%.
Yeah, for me the same. For the biggest thing was religion, like I said before, because there is a specific picture of how you look if you are Muslim. It's very connected, and there is a specific picture of how you look if you are not practicing. So this was something people can never comprehend. That I eat pork, like it was something crazy for people to understand, and like I said, they think that I'm rebelling against my family. And I remember one day very specifically, I went home to my mom and I said, can I eat this? And she was like, are you stupid? I put pork in your lunch sandwich every day. And I was not aware, but people ask me all the time and make me feel so special and be like, we can do something without pork just for you. And I was like, but I eat it. It was something like,
actually
I eat it. And they were like, what? You eat it? Because in the time, I think being Iraqi was so complicated. Like, being Iraqi was something that's not a flex. It was in the media, like 24/7. It was all the time, every day. Like, you turn on the television, it was just something about Iraq and Saddam Hussein and American invasion, like all the time. And then all the terrorism happened, and it took many, many years to get over it. And people just have this perception, you know? And it's affecting your life a lot without thinking about it.
Which make no sense when we think about it, because
No sense.
like Muslims are like the most diverse. That like there's Muslims absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
Like absolutely everywhere.
When you spoke about terrorism, you reminded me when we had the terrorist attack in Brussels, which was traumatic for every Belgian because it was in the fucking subway. Sorry for saying fucking. Sorry, teacher. Because it was in the subway that we took every day to go to school. And it was horrible times. Like, everyone was so scared because there was one terrorist attack in Paris and then two in, like, I don't know, 1 week, 2 weeks in Brussels. So we're like, okay, when's the next one? Like, everyone was so scared. So it was traumatic for everyone. But as a Muslim, you were like, you're not allowed to grieve. You're not allowed to be traumatized because it's your cousin that did it. Like, literally, when we went back,
they told you your cousin
so many times. When I went back to school, I was in a very white school. We were some Muslims, like we were a few, and Arabs and Middle Eastern in general, which most of them are not even Muslim, like they're Christian or they're atheist, but because they are Middle Eastern, they are put in the Muslim box. Or even like sometimes like Pakistani, Indian people that look brown. And when we went back to school, the media came to make like a video for the news because my school was close to the subway station that the terrorist attack happened in. And they literally put all the Arabs in one group and they filmed us and they asked us to say, I support the newspaper. There was a newspaper.
Oh my God, Charlie Hebdo.
Charlie Hebdo. I don't know if I'm going to give some context, but probably your teachers knows. Like they did a terrorist attack in Paris against a journal, a media, and the media was a satiric media.
Yeah.
And all the thing they were publishing was funny jokes about religion, about everyone.
It
like
was a teacher, right?
No, it was not
the
a
media,
teacher.
but
It was the media. It was like they
The whole
bombed.
magazine.
Like it was a magazine that was making like caricatures.
Satire.
Yeah, satires about mostly religion, and it was like really. There was so many things on.
And
the
there's
Muslim.
so many things that they were doing, and they still do because it's their media, and
That's their brand.
that's their brand. Freedom of speech, you do you. Doesn't mean I will like it. So
But there
it's
was
not
this
just-
phrase,
Yeah.
"Je suis Charlie Hebdo."
It means I support the media that got attacked. But it turned into that whole thing in Belgium and in France where like you could not say I'm against the terrorist attack. I hate it. Like who likes whatever. But I don't like the media. Like you cannot say that you didn't like that media because it meant that you were on the terrorist side. But this media, sorry, like if you don't like it, you don't like it. They're not just making jokes about religion. They're making about everything. Like, do you know the story about Gisèle Pellicot, the woman that got raped by thousands of men? They were joking about it. Like that's their thing, and they're allowed to do it. And basically, most people that had a religion, whether Muslim, Catholic, whatever, they didn't want to say the sentence "I am Charlie" because it meant that you support the media. They wanted to say something more like "I stand against terrorism," whatever.
They didn't let you.
No, they forced us to say it. They filmed us and they put it on the news, and we were like, "I am Charlie,"
This is crazy.
and we were only like Arabs on the cover of that thing.
How old you were?
I was 16 or 17, so I realized, and everyone realized, and we're like, "This is not okay." But the prime minister came to the school and did a speech, so we all had to shut up because you're not going to say anything in front of the politicians and the media. Your teacher were looking at you like it's an important moment.
That's so wild.
Don't make it about you because people died.
Bro.
Yeah. This thing you said, like you're not allowed to condemn terrorist attack, and at the same time not like the magazine, like this thing, like not allowing to be complex, like I felt was something that again I'm not realizing, but there was not space to be a person with a lot of different sides to you. It's not possible to be Arab but modern, but also respect traditional cultures, but also respect modern, postmodern societies, but also at the same time respect religion, but also not be religious and be this person with a lot of complex, and also be proud of where I'm from, but at the same time criticize my country, which I also do. And I also am very proud of Denmark, but at the same time also some things that I don't like. This like complexity was not room for that.
Do you feel like it's not allowed for you?
Yeah, because let's take an example, Sevilla, it's exactly that. People have nuances. They are super attached to their Catholic traditions. You see Semana Santa, super attached to the tradition, the values, but still Spain is a liberal country. You have same-sex marriage, abortion, like it's super liberal, but still attached to some values. You have nuances, and people can understand that someone that says, I'm Christian, have sex before marriage, is gay, and it's normal, like she can be both. But if you say I'm Arab and I'm gay, you're not allowed to have nuance. You're not. No. You have one identity and you have to stuck in that label. It's not normal. Like if I say I'm celebrating Eid and the next day I'm in the club, people just cannot comprehend. Like it's not something that it's okay. Like you're not allowed to have nuance and different personalities. And, no.
Yeah, it's people want to very much put you in a box. I think now I don't care, and I'm really proud. I think for all of us it's something we express more, all of the different sides that we have to ourselves, because we are full of cultures and we're proud of it. But for sure, growing up, especially when you grow up where everyone look alike, I don't know, my city is so white, the village that I come from is so white, so it was something you put away to fit in. So yeah, being a person with a lot of cultures was something you cannot mix it.
No, it's complicated
because people don't understand that we are people with a lot of nuances. Yeah.
Me trying to like, it was always like that. My name is Hassna. People look at me, they're like, that's an Arabic name. Yeah, my parents are Muslim. We're Muslims.
But you're black.
You're black. choose your fight, and you cannot be everything.
That was impossible for them to understand.
It's crazy, no?
It was crazy.
It's crazy. A
Like,
of Africa is
the idea was never like, I remember in primary school we used to eat at school like the hot lunches, and there was an option for like no meat or like no pork. Every day they were putting a plate in front of me. This other woman that had our best interest at heart, she was always running, no, not to her, and then grabbing my plate and my sister's plate, being like, they cannot eat that, they're on the Muslim list. It was people were never, like, it was never getting drilled in their minds. And that's also a perception thing, because like, if a terrorist attack is happening, they're not gonna ask the white the white Muslims. They're not gonna ask the black Muslims. No, they're never.
Not at all.
Nobody has ever asked me to condemn a terrorist attack made by someone who says that they're from Islam. Never. Like that they practice Islam. Never. This has never happened to me.
That's true.
And it has never happened to any people in my family. That's not what we see. Like they say, it's because when something happens, because they are perceived as like, I've never heard, I don't think black Muslims are perceived as terrorists, like in the way that they are.
Not at all.
No.
Like not at all. So they're never gonna come to us and be like, and we have the whole, my parents are very, 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 very religious. Like they are probably more religious than like even her, that they pray, they go to Mecca, like they do it all. They do absolutely all. And no one is ever gonna put this in their face. But I think it's because they got something else.
Yeah.
Choose
This
your poison.
exactly, like it tops everything else.
Yeah.
It tops everything else. So they're like, you're Muslim, yeah, but you're black, so we're gonna focus on that. We're gonna focus. That's enough.
That's
we're gonna focus on that. Like literally.
That is so funny.
Okay, so also regarding the country that you born and you grew up, do you feel fully part of it?
Yeah, I feel part of it because in the end, I have friends that they know me since I'm born. So because they know me, they understand, respect where I'm from. I think actually it's more a political problem. It's the politicians that make me feel outside, not even the society. There is a lot of people now today, in today's age, in Copenhagen, in Denmark in general, that respect people from other cultures and other religions. But I think media and politicians they never make you feel like you belong. Just never. It's always something like your blood has to be Danish. Like it doesn't matter what you do. You speak Danish, you act Danish, you have a job, you pay your taxes, I'm not even Muslim, I eat pork, I do everything to fit in, guys, and it's not enough. Like for a politician, your blood has to be Danish. And this is something I always felt from the journalist level, from the media, from in court, like cases in court, or politicians, they make me feel like I don't belong. But in society, no, if you talk to people, they can understand. I also know there is a lot of racists, but most people know that you live with, that you blend in with, they understand and make you feel like you belong.
It's complicated. I think I have phases where like I'm so proud to be Belgian, and that's where I was born, that's where I spend most of my life, that's where I have my family, my friends, and everything. Like I'm Belgian. When I speak French, I have a very strong Belgian accent. Like I'm Belgian, but at the same time I'm also Moroccan. I have double nationality, so I don't feel fully from any of those countries. I think people make you feel at home, but not the country. Like
Exactly.
I can feel at home anywhere in the world if I'm with the right persons around, with the right people around me. I will always feel Belgian because that's my whole life. I spent 25 years in Belgium, but at the same time there are so many things that I not like cultural. There's so many cultural aspects that I don't blend in. Like I didn't grow up drinking Belgian beer. I didn't grow up eating Belgian food. Like there's so many aspects that makes me feel excluded from Belgium, but at the same time it's my country. I'm Belgian, and when I'm outside of Belgium, I'm super proud to be Belgian. Like I'm saying, I'm from Belgium. But when I'm in Belgium, I'm like, hey, I want to go out. So
Exactly the same. Exactly the same as she said. Like, I'm not gonna repeat it, but it's exactly the same.
And what does belonging personally means to you?
that you can be 100% who you are with all the nuances that you have, and that people don't make you feel bad about it. That they just accept you for who you are truly. That's belonging. It's not being like the others, it's being accepted by the others for who you are. I don't think people should be the same, no matter where they're from, like, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Just to be seen, to be seen for who you are. I don't even think it has anything to do with my color, or, like, for me, belonging is just being in a space where I can be myself fully. And then I don't have to pretend, I don't have to change who I am just for other people's expectations. It's just me and the people around me, and they fully understand me, and I belong there. That's it.
Yeah, it's of course to accept everyone for who they are. I think just to say something else is also to forgive yourself and also accept who I am. It took some years to embrace my culture, understand where I'm from, be proud of it, at the same time understand also your parents, that they are mourning their country and that they want to see their country succeed, but this never happens, so you also always carry some mourning and some feelings that are contradicting about your country. And I think having the space to have the complexities, like I said before, is to feel that you belong, that you can feel what you want, say what you want, have opinions that support this and support that, but at the same time condemn this and that. Is to feel like you belong is when people accept everything for who you are.
Okay, and the last question. If you could sit with your kid person after all these years, after all the experience, what would you say? Just one sentence.
Just one.
One sentence.
I have a few things to say.
Or
No, I think I can do it in one sentence. I would tell myself to do the things that I want to do for me. That's it. Not for other people's expectations, not for the way they look at you, for the way they might look at you if you do some things or if you don't do some. Do the things you want to do for you. That's it.
Good. Yeah, I would say something similar, like no matter how many beer you drink, no matter how straight your hair is, no matter how white you are, people will always have something to say. You will always be too white or too Arab or too Muslim, so just don't listen and be who you really want to be. Do the things that makes you feel comfortable, and don't be scared to make other people uncomfortable just because you're you.
Yeah, I think for me it's I would say to myself that you can be whatever you want to be whenever you want. If you want to change, you can change. If you want to be different in a certain situation, you can be. If you want to adapt, be someone else, change your mind, change your trajectory of your life, change your opinions, change everything. You can be what you are when you want, whenever you feel like it. You can change whenever you feel like it. Yeah, there is space to have the, like I said, to have the nuances. Like, you are full of cultures, embrace them. You don't have to hide any of it.
girl,
Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
glad that you're part of this project. I'm so glad that the people that I'm interviewing are my friends. And I'm so proud of you. It's been an amazing year, honestly.
I'm so happy that you decided to do your final work on this subject. I think it's very interesting for me to think about those things, because living it is one thing. Having to explain it to other people who are going through the same thing, who might have gone through the same thing, is something else. But having to explain it to someone who it has never been part of their growing up or anything. It's like I have to put words on things that I was not even understanding myself. So I'm like, I explain this to someone who might not even have any idea. And I'm realizing that there's a lot of things I think that I have suppressed in my life. Like the fact that you asked some things that happened in our childhood, I'm pretty sure I have forgotten half of the things.